You have a few options when it comes to setting up your shop page. WooCommerce will let you choose how many columns and how many rows you can display, and it can also let you choose if you want to display product categories versus individual products or subcategories here on the shop page. I can't give you the one way to do it. It's going to depend on how many products you have and how they are categorized. For example, if you plan on having hundreds of products, you should most definitely put categories on the main shop page. That way, people who are shopping for ebooks versus audiobooks or bundles or merchandise can all first determine what they want, and then they'll start digging into subcategories and individual products. But if you've only got 4 products like me here, it doesn't make sense to make them click through to see ebook first, because really all I have is 4 ebooks right now. To modify the appearance of this page, go to the back end of your site and then scroll down until you reach Appearance, Customize. What you see here will be different, but you're looking for the one that says WooCommerce. So I'll walk you through all of the options in here. So first of all, there is a notice that is available to you if you wanted to say something. So if I enable it real quick here, it would appear like this. And right now it's not visible until I hit publish. But if you wanted to say 24-hour sale, everything 10% off until midnight, whatever you want to say, keep it short because it fits on one line here. So I'm not going to change that. I'm going to disable that. Product catalog. This is the shop page I was just telling you about. So you can choose between showing products, showing categories, which you see here. I have not created an image for my category because I'm not using it, but I highly recommend you set an image for each of your categories in case you decide to display them. By the way, I recommend using 600 by 600 for those product images as well as the category images. I find that normally speaking, it's a good size for most WordPress themes. You could also decide to show categories and products. So people could click on either the entire category or the individual products. I tend to lean toward the first or the second, but like I said, for my specific scenario here, since I've only got 4 products in one category, I find it cleaner to do it this way. Now, this is if I had left the category here, then you choose what happens after I click on here. Do you want to show products? Do you want to show subcategories? Do you want to show subcategories and products? It's exactly the same concept as this, just taken one level down. Let me show you here in the back end. When you create your products and you create your categories, you could give it a name for the subcategory. You could give it a parent. And then this is where you would set that image. That typically 600 by 600 is kind of nice. And then you would add the category. When I click that, it appears here, and you can see that it's a subcategory for this one here. So this is how you could have multiple subcategories. By the way, you control the order in which your categories appear by this interface here, which is not intuitive at all, but on the right, you see those handles. If you hover over them, you will see that you can drag and drop those categories. So now the child category followed because it's related to it. But this is how you can drag and drop to reorder your categories on the shop page. So going back here, I'm not going to worry about this, but I think if I was to do that one day, products would be fine. And here I'm going to go back to products. The default product sorting, see how it says default here? This is the default one, but you could choose to by default have it by popularity or average rating. That implies that you've enabled rating on your WooCommerce site. This has nothing to do with your rating on Amazon. WooCommerce cannot tell that. It's the ratings if you've enabled them at your WooCommerce store level and product level. So I typically leave it to default sorting. You can control the manual order of these products when you edit the individual products. refer to the video where I talk about creating products for more information. This is where you control how many products per row. So if you've only got 3 products, maybe it makes sense to have them be 3 wide for now, and you can always come back. But this is a global setting that will impact all of your products, categories, and subcategories pages. And you also decide how many rows you can show per page. So maybe I'm going to do 14. 14 times 4 would be a lot of products. So you determine here how long that shop page could be. This is per page. So if there's more products than what is currently being shown, there will be navigation enabling you to see more. So for example, if I just say 1 product per row, and I want only 1 row, then I see that I can navigate to see the other pages of catalog. But notice how my images are pixelated right now because I never meant for those images to appear this large. So 600 by 600 is not meant to be 1 wide. So I'm going to leave it be 4 wide with 10 up. And now it's giving me an error page because I was on the 3rd page of my shop, so don't worry about that. If I refresh and come back to WooCommerce, product catalog, I now see that things are back to normal. So this is it for the shop page. The product images themselves, this is where you can control them. I like to have square images, but you can adjust that here if you wanted to. If you know that you always have images that are not as wide as they are tall, you can change that here. You can give them different ratio. And the last one is the checkout page. You can see the preview of the checkout page here. You can hide certain things. If you don't want people to be able to put in a company name, you could decide to hide that. And notice on the right, this one will disappear here. You could also hide the second line for the address field, but I don't recommend messing around with those because different countries, different mailing addresses, people may need those extra fields. And the phone number, while you may not want to call them yourself, it's possible that the delivery person may have to call them because they can't find the address. So I recommend leaving that be required. Here you should select your privacy page as well as your terms and condition. Terms and conditions, there's a check mark. When they're ready, they can click on the words terms and conditions and the page will appear within it. They have to agree to the terms before they can proceed with their order. So it's important to protect yourself in here. Explain where you ship to, what your refund policy is, what happens if there's an error. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. And this is the text that appeared on the checkout page. So if you don't want that to be the exact text, you can change it. And then you hit publish. So this is it for what WooCommerce lets you customize. Now, once you reach the individual product page, the default layout for WooCommerce will be to have the image on the left, the title, the price. The product page does not let you control its layout through WooCommerce settings. Please refer to the video about populating products where I explain where all of this information is entered.